Daily Logic Check.
Welcome to Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, Andrew Vargas. Today is awesome because I love Newport Beach. We have a special guest, Steve Rosansky, the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Newport Beach. He has so many stories to tell me today and tell you guys, but we're only going to get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty. Steve, thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
I'm just thrilled that you took the hour off to come see Andrew and I in our Newport Beach podcast.
Anybody who puts out a spread of treats like that for their guests, that's where I'm going to be at.
Well, and it's funny, you just ate.
So. I did, but it didn't stop me.
I didn't know if anyone's allergic to anything. I have sugar-free cookies. I have gummy bears.
I'm only allergic to aspirin. Everything else is good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you supposed to take aspirin for your heart?
Yeah.
Oh, so what do you do?
No can do.
Oh.
Doesn't work for you?
No.
It gives me asthma attacks, believe it or not.
Well, that would be bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
What could be in it that gives you asthma attacks?
No, it's just how it affects your blood work.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, I met Steve because one of our neighbors, I have an animal rescue, We Care Rescue Ranch, and everyone knows me on the peninsula in Newport Beach for my animal rescue. So one of the neighbors came over and said they lost their dog, and they were like, please help us. Well, long or the short of it, I met Christy Fishback and Rich Fishback because they had just banged on my door and insisted to come in and say hi.
Yeah, I know them well. I could see them doing that. Yeah.
She literally came with wine glasses. She's like, hi, we're looking for a dog. And then she came back.
Who looks for their dog with wine glasses?
I don't know.
Apparently
I don't even think they have a dog. I think
they're just trying to figure out.
They were BSing you there, I think. Yeah.
So they ended up finding the dog. Some good friends of theirs lost their puppy, and they found the dog. So they came back with this wine, and they just I don't have people in there. I'm kind of what do you call those? A mute person, a hermit.
Yeah.
I'm they just kind of
Recluse.
can we come in?
Shut in. Yeah.
We have wine
recluse,
glasses for
yeah.
you. And I'm like, I guess. So they came in and just sort of made themselves at home and said they found the dog, and then started talking about the Chamber of Commerce. And Chris immediately, within a second, she's like, I go, yeah, I have a vodka. And she's like, oh, you have a business in Orange County? Oh, you should join the Chamber. And I was like, what is the Chamber? I knew what a Chamber of Commerce was. I'm an Elks Club member. I love being a part of the
Cheapest drinks in the harbor.
I know, that's why I did it. $2.50 for a vodka soda.
Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Really?
And they carry a Vargas vodka. So Christy was like, so anyway, I joined. She kind of taught me what it was. She's like an advocate for you guys.
I know. We have our ambassador. She's actually a chamber ambassador.
Is she really? Oh,
yeah, we have an ambassador group, and she's part of it.
Oh no, because she's walking down the boardwalk. I'm sure she just targeted me as because there's 700 businesses that are chamber members, right?
Over 800 now. Yeah.
Wow.
800.
All local?
Generally in Orange County, yeah.
Yes.
Well, she told me what it was, and I was excited because I've had I was struggling trying to figure out how to fit into the community with just in general. I think I like to golf. Let me just start this whole conversation by saying I love Newport Beach. I love the safety, security, the atmosphere, the cleanliness, the police. I love the first response. I love everything about Newport Beach as far as the people, the camaraderie, the events. We've got junior lifeguards that were out front of my house. Just what you guys have created here. I'm from the Midwest, Andrew and I, with them via Seattle, and then we go to Seattle. We don't have that. Communities don't have what you have here. And I moved here and thought, I'm never leaving. I'm stuck here. So now how do I get into the community? I want to be part of it. So Christy was really good at they do this and they have events and they have barbecues and then there's networking. And I was like, oh, I like networking. So I went, she goes, well, how about this? To get you involved, let me have some vodka and we'll serve it at the event, the first barbecue.
Yeah.
And I go, she tricked me.
Got a lot of vodka at that barbecue.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on, but I was handing out bottles. So.
Yeah.
You're like, how much do people drink? What do we need to bring? I was like, you're like 5, 10 cases?
Yeah,
I was like, no, these are, how
like,
many people? You're like, no, this is a one event. Slow down.
Well, no, Andrew, I called him because that was the first time I started donating the vodka. I go, Andrew, okay, they said they're like 300 people. How much alcohol? And he did the math. He's like, okay, this many shots per bottle. Wait.
Yeah, so that she was literally like, what, should I bring like 10 cases? I'm like, that is so much alcohol. It's crazy.
I know. Like 2 bottles would have been plenty.
2 to 4 bottles. She's
you
like,
showed up with 2 bottles. You said, oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
I had 3 cases and they were gone. Yeah. So longer the short of it, I met a bunch of people at the event. I brought my swag, and you guys were so accommodating. It was so cool. All the members were awesome, and then I met you, and I
was at the barbecue.
and you think you were barbecuing.
That's what I meant. I was at the physical barbecue.
You physically, Steve, made me a burger.
I'm the cook of the chamber, for sure.
Yes, you pull off good events, but let's back up a little bit. I want to know a little bit about you. Yeah. You're a very proud local, and but I was researching some of your history, and you're a lawyer.
I've been called worse, yeah.
I mean, you're a real estate lawyer, not in family law.
I was a real estate lawyer, that's true, yeah. Although, it's funny you should mention family law, because when I was in law school, if you finish at the top of a class, an individual class, you can get what's called an Amjur Award. And it was in the middle of the summer, and a book shows up in the mail, like a law book, a big, thick, bound book. I'm looking at it, and it says like community property law. And so somehow I got the best grade in the class, and I didn't even get along with this professor. So I know a little bit about community property too.
Okay.
But yeah, real estate was my specialty.
It's the bread and butter. And then you also so let's back up a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
Well, if you want to go way back to the origin here.
Yes, I do.
It was Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're not from here. I knew it.
No, not from here.
Okay, because you seem like an East Coaster or something.
I was born in Brooklyn to basically, what you'd think of as an immigrant family. I had aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff that all lived within like 2 or 3 blocks of each other. And we lived there shortly, and then family moved to Chicago. My dad took a job in Chicago, and we were there for about. It's
a good migration. You're slowly moving this way.
Another big city, but getting this way. Well, although then we regressed because we moved back to New York.
Okay.
And we were in Brooklyn again for about 5 years.
How old were you then?
Well, 67 to 72, so 7 to 12.
Okay.
And then from 12 to 14, we moved back to Chicago.
Okay.
My dad.
So you're teenage now. You're influenced.
No, 14. Well, 14. Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
14.
you're 14. So you're getting that teenage.
Sort of, yeah. Fun, discovering girls and all that stuff.
Yeah. In Chicago, that must have been fun.
Yeah. Well, we were in the suburbs, so maybe not as fun.
Oh, okay.
But and then moved to Arcadia actually in San Gabriel Valley when I was 14. 19.
How come you moved here?
So my parents bought a franchise, the Baskin Robbins ice cream franchise, in the new mall in the Santa Anita Fashion Park Mall, which is next to the Santa Anita racetrack.
Oh, that's why, because your bio says something about Baskin Robbins.
Well, that actually, I have my own personal connection with that later on, but that was the reason we moved to California, to open that store in the mall.
Did you have way too much ice cream as a child?
I did. I still, honestly, I still have way too much. Well, probably borderline, but ice cream. I do love ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah, I love ice cream.
I love ice cream too. I love what's the green one? Almond has almonds in it. Pistachio.
Pistachio almond. That's a good one.
Oh God. Okay, so you moved back and forth, which is great. So you're East Coast. You're a little hardcore. You know how to say no. You're a little rough. Okay, we got it.
Yeah,
East Coast people are always just like.
I like this description.
Yeah. Well, Chicago and East Coast. Come on. And then you moved to Arcadia.
Arcadia, yeah.
And then to do the Baskin Robbins thing. And now you're what, 16, 17?
14 when we moved there. So until 18. And then I actually went back east again
Oh.
to Philadelphia for college, University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So spent 4 years there.
And you went to law school here, though, right?
Yeah, I gave my parents a break and said, okay, I'm going to go to a state school for my law. And I mean, it doesn't get much better than UCLA. It's a top 20 law school. So I wasn't sacrificing much, but
so
they did save a lot of money on my law school.
In-state tuition?
Yeah, in-state tuition, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now you're what, 21, 22, 23,
graduated?
Graduated?
Law school is 25.
25,
and then that's when I moved down here to Newport Beach.
Oh, so you were young.
So you've been here your entire adult life?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because before school, I consider as soon as you're done with school, that's when your adult life starts.
Yeah, okay, then I moved here to Balboa Island.
I'm getting your backstory because we also kind of just migrated here, and I could tell you weren't from here, so I was like, where is he? Because your attitude is you've got that swanky, cool, like jazz club vibe attitude.
I should have worn my hat, right?
Yeah, a little top
jazz
hat. So then how did you get into politics? Because you were the mayor for a year, from 2006 to 2007.
Yeah. Well, I moved to Newport Beach.
Okay.
And, I
got into real estate.
I got into real estate law. I was a lawyer, worked for a large law firm here to retain.
Quick question.
Tucker.
What exactly does real estate law do?
So, there's different parts of it, but I was what they call a transactional attorney. So the kind of things that I worked on when I did practice law at a large law firm, which is the type of business that they would do, is loan work for major loans that banks are making, sales of like a shopping center or tracts of land,
Major stuff,
big stuff.
When party A and party B need to make sure everything, all the I's are dotted and the cross T's.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be just buying my Duffy.
Yeah. Some states, the lawyers actually do handle. They don't have like escrow companies and things, and the lawyer actually handles the transaction. Not here so much, but that would be another.
I was just kind of curious on what exactly.
Different things. I remember working once on one of our clients was going to buy a restaurant chain. It was actually Coco's, I think Coco's, and they had 3 or 4 concepts, and so they were going to buy the chain, all the chains, and so we were called in to do the lease reviews. So we had to review like 200 leases to make sure that there was nothing unusual that that they were going to get bid on
once they
agreed.
Okay.
So it's a varied thing. I mean,
covering
different areas.
So you cover people's butts in real estate deals.
We try to, yeah.
That's the goal. Okay.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I just I was curious about that.
No, so you were in real estate, but then.
So yeah.
How does that work? So you were in real estate here then in Newport Beach. So you've already kind of put yourself in the community here.
Yeah. Even if you want to dial back a little, the reason I wound up in Newport Beach.
Yeah. How did you?
Arcadia and that whole Pasadena, San Marino area. A lot of wealthier families that a lot of them had like second homes down here. So kids that I went to school with, they'd come down to this beach for the summer. Now, we were not part of that wealthy crowd, but I knew a couple people. So occasionally I'd get invited down to spend a weekend or something. And I said, this is a great place. If I could just live here year round. I mean, that's what I was thinking back in school days. So when I had the opportunity out of UCLA to take the job here in Costa Mesa, I said, I'm moving to Newport Beach and I'm moving on to Balboa Island. I had to live on.
He's manifesting this whole thing.
I actually have a funny story about that too. So I at the time I was going to law school still, and or just graduated. Maybe it was over the summer. And I had a Chevy Chevette, and if you know what a Chevy Chevette is, I mean, this was like
back in the day. Was it green?
It was maroon or something. It was not a deluxe car. But I threw my bike into the back, and I drove down here, got the bike out, and I literally went up and down every street on Balboa Island looking for rent signs for
smart
apartment.
Yeah.
I saw 2 signs. I rented the one out of the 2 , and that's how I wound up here in Newport Beach.
Did it have the price on it too? Like, okay.
I remember. But
Well, back in the day, they didn't have Zillow.
Zillow was get on your bike.
Yeah, get on your bike and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Determined to live on Balboa Island.
I wanted to live on Balboa Island for sure. Yeah, you've been to Balboa Island.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of a special place.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to come home from work and you drive over the bridge and you get to the other side and you feel like you're like in Mayberry or something.
Yeah.
It was like a whole different vibe there.
I heard they had hunting before back on the island.
Oh,
back
maybe.
way
Way
back.
back.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever moves they were shooting.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you even go?
It.
The island's kind of small. I always wondered how they had hunting on it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's probably like a duck club or something.
It's probably a duck club.
It's
probably like, or skeet shooting.
Because this used to be like a sandy swamp area. A long time ago.
Really, the harbor was the mouth of the river, the Santa Ana River. If it's channelized now and it goes out to the ocean, but it actually used to dump into the top of the harbor there, like where Newport Island is and all that.
Oh yeah.
So it was just a big marshy sandbar kind of.
It might still be if they keep cloud seeding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's another story. So anyway, I wound up down here working for Tan & Tucker for a couple years. But, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, just like you are.
Yeah.
And, when you work for a law firm with 120 bosses, basically, that are above you,
right?
It just wasn't my thing,
You're not making partner anytime soon.
No, well, here, I'll tell you another funny story if you want. So I'm at UCLA interviewing for jobs, right? And this one law firm was interviewing on campus, and they were a mid-sized downtown LA law firm. And one of the name partners was doing the interviewing. And I went through a half-hour interview with this guy. And at the end of the interview, and this guy was the sharpest of them all, he says, Steve, it sounds to me more like you're going to be one of our clients than one of our attorneys.
Oh.
And he called it. I mean, he called, just called me out on it. But it was true. I've you could see my parents were entrepreneurs. They came out here, and I
Yeah.
always had some little.
You have that bug in you,
Yeah,
innately, just like, I got to create something.
Exactly. I always had some business when I was a kid. I sold earrings door to door. I walked dogs. I washed windows, mowed yards.
sounds like John Paul.
Delivered newspapers, whatever it was, to make a few dollars and, do something.
You were a hustler and also a manifester, so that means you're a dreamer.
Yeah.
But you also execute your dreams, which is great. That's different.
Well, either that or they execute me,
Yeah,
one way or
actually.
another. but so then I got a real estate broker's license. I actually got it while I was still at the law firm. And
Wait, you double dipped? Were you did you have the book there while you were like trying to
Actually,
bill some billable hours, do some tests?
Luckily, as an attorney, you don't have to study. You don't have to do any of the classes.
Yeah.
If you have a law license, you can just go sit for the test.
Yeah.
And so, being a real estate attorney, I knew a lot already. And
Yeah.
I was was good at math, and that's part of the test. And I had some experience in real estate, even personally with my mom investing in some stuff. So I just went in and sat for the
second
test.
nature.
Really? So you didn't have to? You just went? You didn't
No.
You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know all this.
Yeah, I finished way early, and I'm thinking like, maybe I missed
Sitting
something.
there. Yeah. Did I do this? You're excuse me.
Like this
You're
is the test. I
flipping
can
it
do.
over.
So that was your
They
real
were-
estate.
You know how you see in the movies, like the one guy taking the test stands up in the middle of the test and walks out. Everybody's like staring at him. Well, I was done, so I just turned.
That's
it in.
amazing.
But anyway, so I got the real estate broker's license when I was there, and so my very first client was actually a law client that you asked me what real estate attorneys do. So he owned a piece of land. Actually, you'd know where it is. It's on the curve on Bristol Street, where the car wash is up like in Costa Mesa.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that used to be, his family used to own all that land there.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you'd think it was nice, but that was like a landfill. That was a garbage dump at
Where
one
the
time.
lumber mill is?
Are
we talking
I
about
don't know if
same-
it went down that far, but
Okay, but
in
that area.
when you go on the curve up Bristol Street to Southwest Plaza. And so the problem with the land was it had the garbage dump on it, so you couldn't just build on the land anything because there's trash underneath and gas comes up.
Methane, was it called?
Methane.
Methane,
yeah. Methane, yeah. Anyway, so he was selling a piece of that land at the time, and I knew he needed to buy something else to do a tax-free exchange. And I said, okay, I got a ready-made client. And I wound up selling him I think it was a 26-unit building. They were all 26 condominium units, but they were
nice.
rented as apartments. Yeah.
And that was your first
That was
like
my
big...
first deal. Yeah. I learned some lessons on that deal too. Yeah. Good
Did
lessons.
you have to like expose the methanol or the?
Did they?
No, I didn't
Methane?
I didn't sell that piece. He had already sold that.
Oh, he sold-
I did the paperwork for the sale of that property.
got it. Okay,
but I'm
okay.
sure we did disclose it. You'd have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
disclose
By
it,
the
yeah.
way, you
By
might
the
die
way,
if you
yeah,
inhale over
Did
there.
they? I'm assuming they eventually ended up digging all that out.
They would, they had to dig, excavate it and recompact it. And
That's
all
where
that.
my first office was when I moved. For Edge Music. Was that little area? They've got like office stuff over there
there's a
now.
little low-rise office building.
Yeah, little rise. They've got like some little restaurants now. They built it pretty good.
In my little town, they put like a little shopping area / like area, and there was going to be this parking lot where they were going to put apartments. No idea. The city is the one that's doing the project, and they go to build the building. They do core samples, and it was a garbage dump.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, okay, well, it's really expensive, so it's just still sitting as a dirt parking lot.
What do you do for that?
Well, you can do some remediation, like you can install piping throughout there to kind of siphon off the gas. But realistically, you can't build on. We actually in Newport Beach here, we have. If you've been out by like Newport Coast, and there's a big open field there, like next to the Newport Coast Community Center. So that's called Bonita Canyon Landfill, and that's a big landfill. That used to be the county landfill. So the county owns it.
That's why.
Yeah, but there's talks like you could build like a golf course maybe on top of it,
Right.
as long as you don't water it too much, because water when it gets into the trash it makes more methane. But there is some land around
A
it.
dry course? What would you just build?
Well,
it?
They have a couple of those in Seattle that
they're
are golf
called.
courses.
There's like links courses are really just landscaped on the fairway and not.
They
on
could
the
just build
sides.
turf. Can't you just do turf courses?
Nobody
'cause they
would
gotta
use
water
it,
Yeah.
and nobody would. She's talking about fake turf.
Oh, fake turf.
I'm like,
No.
can't you just put fake turf?
nobody would-
I'm a golfer also, but
Yeah, that'd be expensive to
That'd be a
fake
really-
turf a golf course. Yeah. But there is
Just
some
a
land.
thought.
There is some land actually around the perimeters of it where they're talking about building low-income housing now for Newport Beach. Believe it or
okay.
not. Yeah. So I don't know how we got down that rabbit
No,
hole.
no,
but-
no. We always the rabbit holes are the best.
Yeah.
I know a lot, too much, I think. Sometimes.
So you did the deal. That's how you got into real estate. Was your first deal?
So yeah, that was my first deal as a real estate broker, and I was doing that for a while, selling some small commercial properties and things. And then the recession hit in the early '90s, which was the savings and loan recession, when a lot of the S&Ls
Right.
went belly up, and the Fed
People
took them
weren't
over.
getting loans
They were
and-
selling. Yeah,
yeah.
it was a big mess. So business was off, and so I started selling residential properties
Because
as
it
well.
says residential then commercial.
Well, yeah. So I kind of
Okay.
segued into that because, at least homes
Yeah.
were still selling some. And so I did that for a while. And then,
were you done being a lawyer by this time?
well, I'm still a lawyer. I still have my license,
But you were
but I
done
never
practicing.
practiced after that. Not for money anyway.
Okay, wait, can you say that again?
Not for money.
I never practiced. Aren't you? I've never
Hey,
heard a
you know
lawyer
what?
say that.
You get what you pay for too. Don't
yeah,
forget.
you're probably right. It's a little chewy. You just
Yeah,
want to spit it out a little.
oh, that's right. Yeah. But so got the real estate broker's license, and then commercial real estate, residential real estate, and so. But still, things were tough. It was about 1993, and the recession in the real estate business was still on. And I remember a client called me up and said, it was a property I'd sold him in Laguna Beach. It was a small commercial property, and it had come with some carryback financing, which he had to pay off now because the loan was coming due. And he said, well, Steve, what am I going to do? I need like $300,000 loan for this property. I said, well,
carryover.
yeah, to refinance it.
Yeah.
And commercial loans that small are very difficult to come by. Most banks don't even want to touch stuff like that. It's just too much trouble.
The hard money guys do that, right?
Well, they will, but you don't want to
Yeah.
go to them either.
Yeah.
So I said, well, and I knew he had this beautiful home in Laguna Beach that he built, and he owned it free and clear.
Leverage.
So I said, yeah, you know what? Why don't you take the loan against your house? You'll get the loan cheaper and for 30-year amortization and all that, and then just pay off the loan on the commercial property. So he ultimately did that. And so after I saw him a couple months later, I said, just out of curiosity, like, how many points did you pay on that loan? He said 2 points. So that was like $6,000 or something, which was a lot of money at the time for me, especially when I was making a lot of money. I'm thinking like, wow, if I was doing mortgages, I just gave away, money. And so I immediately started doing mortgage work. And so
you're smart enough to know that you just educate yourself a little bit, get a license, and now you can make that
you gotta
money.
be nimble. You gotta go where the business
Absolutely.
is. And then for most of my career before I became chamber president, I was doing real estate sales. Frequently, I'd sell a house and do the mortgage on it as well, and I did a lot of refinance work throughout the couple decades of doing
This is hilarious.
mortgage work. Yeah, I was a notary. I was a notary too at one point.
Oh, you're a notary too. Oh, perfect.
I was a one-stop shop. I could
I
sell
could
you
do-
the house. I could get you the mortgage, and we could notarize the documents at the closing.
And you could make sure you're not getting the properties good enough to be like something that what you're buying. You can look over everything.
I have my
and you know
law background.
Your
so
law
to
background can
protect
help
you against,
Once,
So you'd have been a great having somebody on your side. Yeah, having you on your side.
well, I
having
hope
yourself on your own side,
Yeah.
you're like a one-stop shop.
Exactly. Oh, I knew enough.
Steve, can you notarize? Hey, Steve, can you go ahead and look at that document? Steve, can you...
What do you think, Steve? Yeah. I knew enough to stay out of trouble. Sometimes actually I wonder, I look at other professionals in the real estate business or the mortgage business, and I wonder how they even function without, the
All
law
the
background.
knowledge.
Because it's so easy, it's especially these days, it's very litigious. And it's so easy to get sued for doing the wrong thing, and it's exponentially worse. Back when I started real estate, it was a 2-page. You just bought a new home. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
It was a 2-page contract back then. That was it. That was the
Really?
real estate project.
It's like
now,
60.
now it's a volume of disclosures.
I got packets.
You'll have writers cramped for a week after you sign those paperwork.
That's
and the
great.
loan was the same thing. It used to be a few documents and you were done. So there's a lot of potential liability, a lot of disclosures and things, and most of it gets done and nothing happens. But
Every once in
Well,
a
we
while.
have, when I did say about this house, it was DocuSign, which is great because then you could just.
DocuSign's good.
The problem is I want to review stuff. I'm a reviewer. I like to read every single document, and so for me, I'm just like when I see a 60-page document, my heart, everything sinks because I'm like, I know I need to do this. It's a large purchase. I need to know what my liability is, what their liability is, what happens if I buy the house and it sinks into the ocean tomorrow. I found out later I own the water all the way to the
Oh,
middle.
really? Oh,
I'm one of 10 houses.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I own the bay. I'm part of Newport Bay.
So you don't have to pay for your dock
No,
permit.
Nope.
Yeah.
no, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So no one tells me this. I'm like, oh, I own. So my realtor.
Yeah, there's very few places in the harbor like that.
I know. This was a 1960s architectural digest home, and
What probably happened was that they probably dredged that. It was probably land out there, and they dredged the.
no, yeah, this is man-made. They
Yeah,
dredged
see,
it,
that's
so
why.
everybody
Yeah.
here owned the water. The problem is they all released it to the city. They sold it back to the city.
did they? Yeah.
Most of the
Most of them,
neighbors, I guess. I think.
But not you, not yours.
No, this house didn't.
Oh, wow.
And there's a few of us other ones that didn't. So we give. So what's it called between two
Easement.
houses?
An
Easement.
easement,
So I
yeah.
have an easement with the neighbor over there.
Yeah.
She does too.
Oh, great.
Which I was
Yeah,
like, I have
technically,
a water
there's no
easement in the
public
bay.
property in between these houses.
Right.
I
No, I
wanted
know
to
what
do
you're
like
talking
a bridge and charge $5.
It's all. It's an easement. You can't charge
I
a
don't
toll
think
on an
that
easement.
easement allows
You
for that.
can't
Oh, you
charge
can't charge a toll for an
on
easement?
now.
I was just reading this story as an aside, and you can cut this out of your thing. There's a guy who bought like 80,000 acres in Colorado, right? And he bought this, but the property has an easement on it that allows about 700 or 800 of the people living in the town there to go onto his property to collect firewood, to graze their
What?
animals, and this and that. And so he's in a dispute now with them, and he's been building like this 8-foot tall fence to keep the people out, and they're suing him in court. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what
kind of
he
a
should do? He
weird
should
deal.
just charge a entry fee.
Yeah, but then the exact he would charge $1 million, so that way they wouldn't come on the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is an easement. And that's
I'm
a
only talking
law-abiding.
$5, Andrew.
Doesn't matter.
I just want a toll.
It's kinda like,
with TT over here.
It's kind of like the.
There's a lot of people in Newport Beach that like a toll on the road.
like a toll on the
to get
road.
it has improved a lot over the years.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
You know, you look there and you see like Lido House Hotel. That used to be old City Hall.
I love what Bob did to
Beautiful
that.
there.
Bob
It's-
Olson, right?
Yeah, Bob Olson.
Oh, he did such a good
And
job.
Lido
with
Marina
that.
Village was all redone in
Yeah.
the last 15 years or so ago.
Yeah, and the marina.
Mario Marovic owns a bunch of property down
Yeah,
there.
the
at
Stag
pier.
Bar.
Stag-
Mario's coming on.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
a good interview.
Yeah, he's in somewhere right now. But yeah, you know, I think that the community itself is beautiful. What they're doing to the buildings,
Mm-hmm.
the real estate. So who owned? Well, I won't get into it, but off camera we'll talk about the builder that owned this house.
Mm.
He has a big building on the peninsula, and I never knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I bought this house, I recognized the last name, and I'm like, oh wait. And they go, yeah, that's that big developer. I'm like, and this was like his little humble abode. I'm
really?
like, this is your humble abode, loser. This is like my dream house.
Daily Logic Check.
So let's go back. So then you do commercial and you do private, but then I'm trying to get to how you became mayor.
So all right. So well, even there you have to go back to Arcadia. Okay, if you
Okay.
want to know about the
Yeah.
acorn that the oak tree of politics grew out of, or my
Yeah, I'm like, well, how'd you get into
involvement.
politics? This is crazy.
So growing up in Arcadia, I mean, I was always interested in politics. I was, a weird kid. I read the New York Times in Arcadia, believe it or not. I used to get the newspaper delivered, and I was always interested in national politics and things like that. But I remember I used to ride my bicycle to school, and I used to go past this big house, and it was owned by the mayor of Arcadia.
Oh.
Right? I'm thinking like, someday I want to be mayor of Arcadia.
Here he is manifesting
He owned,
again.
I was. He owned an Italian restaurant, Pellegrino's, I think it was called. And
He was Italian.
He was an Italian guy.
Oh my God!
Mayor
the
of
mayor
Arcadia.
owns it like Italian.
Yeah.
Come to my restaurant.
And I always thought, it'd be kind of cool to be the mayor of Arcadia. So, being here in Newport Beach, I was pretty much focused on my business and raising our son and this and that. I had always had ideas I should start getting involved in more of the political and just get more involved in the community. And it's an interesting path, and you wouldn't know it, I guess, you knowing me now, but I was the shyest person back then. I mean, I had 3 friends in high school. In the class
Introvert.
play, in the class play, I was the grip guy, running the lights behind. I would never be on stage. And so my son was in Cub Scouts. I guess I'm in my 30s at that point. Son was in Cub Scouts. My wife was the den leader on Lido Isle.
Oh.
And so she comes home one day and says, the Cub Master quit, right? There's no Cub Master anymore. I said, oh, bummer. What are you going to do? She says, well, we already have a new Cub Master. I said, really?
You.
She goes, you. Exactly. She says, you. I said, me? I said, I like don't get up in front of groups of people and stuff. That's not my thing. She says, don't worry. I'll write a script for you. It's just kids, you
Yeah.
5 minutes in the beginning of the meeting, 5 minutes at the end of the meeting. Yeah, no big deal. So I became the Cub Master. And so I get in front of these kids, and then I'd be in front of the parents at the parent meetings, once a month.
So you got used to engaging with people.
Yeah, I got more
public.
comfortable talking in public and having.
Well, if you want to be the mayor, like the gangster mayor, and owns an
Gotta start
Italian
with the Cub
restaurant
Scouts.
with a big house,
Exactly. So, and then my son went into Boy Scouts, Troop 90, which is over at the Boy Scouts Sea Base on Coast Highway. Mm-hmm. And so,
wait, what'd you do with them?
I was an assistant scoutmaster there.
Oh,
so
okay.
I kept staying in scouting and took a leadership role in the troop. And so, it's a bigger group, older kids, a lot more parents, and we're.
So you had to deal with people all the time.
People. So comes to in my early 40s then. So I'm thinking now I'm thinking more about getting involved in other things in the community. And so I read this article in the Daily Pilot back then when, it was more prominent here in Newport Beach. And it was talking about a group of West Newport Beach residents that were having meetings trying to find someone to run for the West Newport council seat. I mean, thinking to myself, like, oh, I was so dumb for not getting involved sooner, the politics side of things. Maybe I could have run for city council at that point. I could have been.
Yeah, because you were a council member for years, right?
Well, I was at that point. I wasn't.
Right, okay,
no, I'm just saying this is before.
You could.
I was thinking I'd like to be a council member, but this could have been my chance. But I figured, well, there's no way I could do it now. I don't have any experience. I don't know any of these people. But I said to myself, I'm not going to hang back any longer. I'm going to call up this group and say, I want to be part of the group to find somebody. So this way to get to know these people, right? I figure, okay, they're the people making some decisions in town, or the prominent people, or whatever you want to call them, the interested people. Yeah. And so I went and met with them.
The to-do people.
The to-do people, right? The people that really get
the
things
doers,
done here in town, the doers. And I said to them, we were talking a lot, and I told them a little bit about my background, a lot of which I should share with you now. And so they said, well, why don't you run for it? And I said, well, I haven't really earned the opportunity here to do this. I said, but they kept insisting. I said, look, if you think I should run, I'll run. If we find somebody else that
you're more qualified,
you were considered more qualified,
who's earned the brass ring, I will step back and let them do it.
Right.
I said, fine. And so we went on for about 2-3 weeks.
How cool.
And then I won't bore you with all the politics of what happened, but basically another group, a very wealthy outside group, decided they wanted someone else to run for that seat. And so they politely asked me to, not my group, but these other people asked me to step back. And the guy that they were running, he didn't even live in town. He did not live in Newport Beach. He wound up renting a bedroom. He was an attorney.
Just so he could say he lived here.
He rented.
It sounds like an Orange County housewife.
I don't know about that.
They don't live in the area.
He rented a bedroom in a house that was owned by a judge. And they wound up backing him. At that point, I knew there was no way I was going to win because
there's some politics
you have millionaires
involved.
And billionaires behind this guy now.
Okay.
And so, but I said, you know what? He didn't earn the right. He didn't have the right to grab the brass ring. He didn't do the stuff that he needed to do. I said, I'm going to stay in the race anyway. And they tried to buy me off with like a planning commission seat or some other thing.
Right.
Oh, look over here.
They need their
look at this shiny
look over
thing.
here. Look at this over here. And and if you want to do it, down the road, maybe we'll support you with that. I said, screw it. I said, I'm just going to run anyway.
Good for you.
So it turned out there was 3 of us in the race. It was this guy, another guy who was what they call a green light candidate at the time.
Yeah.
We had a slow growth initiative going at that point. And then me, and I got like 7,000 or 8,000 votes, Yeah. And I said, well, I don't know 7,000 or 8,000 people in this community. I barely, know any. I said, so not too bad.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good experience. Got some exposure.
Yeah, you thought you're thinking this is a good thing. I got to learn.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
I
Put your toe in the politics.
Because next time I'll know what to be doing.
Right.
And it's learn. I'm going to learn the ropes, and the next time it'll be much better.
Absolutely.
So in the meantime, I was trying to apply for different board and commission posts to try and again get involved in the community and elevate my stature.
Right.
And I finally made it onto the Parks, Beach, and Recreation Commission about 3 years after this election.
This is all making sense now because I saw your resume and I'm like, holy moly.
So I got appointed to the Parks, Beach, and Recreation Commission. This is probably like September, let's say, of 2003. And like 2 months later, again, reading the Daily Pilot, the guy who I ran against, Gary Proctor, resigns 3 years into the term, and there's a 1 year left on the term. So the city council decides, instead of having a special election, they're going to appoint a person to fill the seat for a year. So I said, hey, might as well put my name in.
Oh,
and
cool.
There was 7 of us, I think. 6 of us ultimately interviewed in front of the city council in public.
Yeah.
And so I got it. So
And
that's
they picked you.
that's how I got on city council. And then
So you actually technically you did run, and then you
well,
won.
I had to run a year. I lost my very first election in 2000.
Right.
And I got appointed in 2003. And then in 2004, you only are there till the end of the term. Then I ran for my first 4-year term, and then another 4-year term 4 years later.
Okay.
So 9 years altogether on city council.
Wow.
And in that time, you were mayor.
So the way it works here in Newport Beach is the mayor is not directly elected. So
Okay.
the 7 city council members each year, they select one of the 7 to
Oh,
be
got it. Okay.
the mayor for that
Got
year.
it.
And you can
Okay.
be mayor more than 1 year in a row, but traditionally, especially back then, it rotated, and typically the most senior person.
So we get a different mayor every year then. That's why there's
Basically,
okay.
yeah,
Because I was
basically.
seeing the rotation, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
is it not working out?
No, it's some cities. I think like Costa Mesa has a 2-year elected mayor. Other cities have a 4-year elected mayor.
Okay. Are they going to start doing that with the governors now too?
No.
Probably not.
No.
They should.
It's already no, because then we don't. Here you elect that, and then those 7 people decide who the mayor is.
Oh.
Now, and who's got more authority, the mayor or the city council? Here,
Neither really, and that's the beauty of it, is that you don't have this all-powerful person. Everybody, even when I was not the mayor, and I still felt like I had just as much say as the mayor did. The mayor is more of a ceremonial role here.
Yeah.
And,
so he has committees that he actually listens to, and then there's a collaborative decision-making effort, not just this is my way or the highway. and
well,
this
you
is
would hope that would be that way, yeah.
Right.
Sometimes-
But that's how this community works, right?
Pretty
Is
much.
that it's a community,
Pretty much,
it's a
yeah.
collaborative effort to make those
it takes
decisions.
more than one person's not the all powerful.
No, and
Yeah.
I think I like it that way, and I think a lot of
agree.
people in Newport Beach like it that way. I
Yeah.
mean, I had the same equal vote as any mayor did at the time. I mean,
that's
we
great.
only get 1 vote. You
Yeah.
got to get 4 votes to pass anything.
Right.
So the mayor is only 1/4 of. He's got to convince 3 other.
But he's
people.
the mayor.
But he is.
So-
Did he
is the
get a
mayor.
did he have a big house?
Depends on the mayor.
An Italian
When I was
restaurant?
the mayor, I had a very small house. So
I'm running for mayor.
yeah,
Damn it.
yeah. Some have big houses, but So it's a good system we have here, and being on the city council was probably the most challenging thing I've done in my career of all the different things that I've done. So
And why was it so challenging?
it's a complex city here. I mean, you lived here for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the things that are
Since
going on.
2002, I've been
Okay,
coming
so
here.
long
So
time, 22 years.
Yeah.
We have a harbor, we have a bay, we have an airport that
John Wayne just
influences us a lot.
Yeah.
We're a wealthy community, so in a sense, which is great. We have a lot of funds and a lot of resources, but we also have a lot of people that have A-type personalities that want to tell you how things should be run around
Yeah.
here.
Why is that airplane going over my house? Move it over there.
Yeah. So it's like when I was on city council, I used to say, our problem in Newport Beach is not satisfying the needs. All the needs here in town are satisfied. It's all the wants that we have that make it a little more difficult. But, there's just different things. You're working on labor issues. You're working on, real estate related, planning, zoning issues. You're working on, I remember when I was on Parks, Beach and Recreation, the number one if you get away from kids and schools and stuff, which the city doesn't deal with anyway, that's the school district.
Yeah.
One of the things that generated the most complaints in town were trees, believe it or not.
What?
The 7 trees you guys have.
We have like 10
No, what are you
trees.
talking about? We're like a tree city. We're every
I
year.
have one tree next to my.
Where I live in a forest.
Well, there are no forests.
So that's when I say no trees.
This is a desert, so we got a lot of trees.
Okay, you're right.
But
You're right.
you
We
get
do,
people
yeah.
like, oh, the tree grew and now it's blocking my view. Could you cut it down or trim it? Sometimes people literally like someone up in Spyglass, miles away, would see one of those big tall palms at the beach. That tree's is ruining my view. Can you cut it
Are
down?
you kidding me? The
no.
pettiness.
Yeah.
The pettiness.
Or someone wants to maybe remove a tree, let's say in their front yard, and their neighbors don't want them to move it because it's an old tree and it's a historic
Yeah,
tree.
because right now on the peninsula, there's a library.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
I go to my little cafe to have I love my salmon bagel. And I'm sitting there and I see this sign that says, "Stop the murder." And I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
oh my God, someone got murdered next to my
birds.
old house.
Yeah.
It's not the birds.
Not the birds?
Well, no, I'm sorry. Yes. It's the murder of the tree.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
trying to take the tree down. So you're murdering the tree. I told the cafe owner, I'm like, who put this sign up? It looks like someone got murdered in your restaurant. He goes, yeah, the activists wanted me to hang it. I couldn't argue, so I had to hang. And so he goes, it's up to here for one more day. And it says, stop the murder. I mean, it literally has like guts on this thing. Like trees don't have guts.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. So yeah, people are very crazy about those trees. You
Actually,
are right.
One of my first cases back at Rutan & Tucker, one of the first clients I dealt with, was a woman who lived kind of out near the fun zone on the bayfront. And she called up the firm we were representing or something, and because the city was going to come in and cut down the tree in her yard or something. They wanted how to remove the tree. They said it was diseased or something. And I remember she chained herself to the tree. It was in the newspaper and everything. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. We don't have many people that protest in Orange County.
Yeah, well,
so when you
they're over at UCI right now. I got news for you.
Oh yeah, no, I heard about that. What's going? What? So there are protesting here then.
Yeah, there's a small encampment.
A little small
UCI.
campus. Yeah.
Daily Logic Check.
But it's interesting. Orange County has so many rules and regulations. I guess what I also love about the community here, just on a side note, is that there are so many rules and regulations that you have a routine here. You don't break the law. You play by the
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Well, you hopefully not. You play by the rules, and you can live a really good life here. I try and do the best I can in the community. I try and donate what I can. I try and just help out when I can. I try and do whatever I can.
Yeah, we appreciate your support at the chamber. You've been
thank you.
one of our leadership circle members and donated your product and your time.
Well, thank you. But you've been so wonderful to me, but it's not just that, it's the people also that are involved in the community that it makes me want to be a better person. And I think that's a great atmosphere to raise children in. When you want to be, people are like, Newport Beach, I don't want to raise my kid there. It's just like they see a BMW and they're like 12. They want a BMW or Mercedes. Now it's a Maybach, I think. What is it now? I don't even know.
It's a Lamborghini.
I want a Ferrari.
Some fancy electric car.
Yeah. And people say that, but realistically, I think you're right. I mean, you can't get around that in Orange County, but what you can get around is the consistency of the morals in Orange County are pretty significant. And I appreciate that a lot. I don't know if I could explain that well. How would you explain, like, people just respect their environment here?
Yeah.
How do you expect?
Well, it's community pride.
Community pride.
Yeah.
Pride.
There's a lot of community pride here. And if someone tries from the outside, tries to come in and mess it up, everybody's like, no, you're not going to do that today.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen, just out of curiosity, on another side note, so I got a Duffy. I was so excited. I'm like, I'm official in Newport.
You are.
If it was used, I don't care. I put a new rudder in it, got the thing running, did a little shiny stuff to it, got some new plastic. Anyway, I get out there and I'm cruising and I see this house that's stark white, like
mausoleum or something.
Yeah, but it has a military ship. Have you seen this thing? It has it's a vessel. It looks like it should have gun. It has a gun holster.
Gun turrets.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
what is that?
That's Palmer Lucky's house. The guy's the genius billionaire kid.
Oh, because he owns all three houses, and one of them's a parking lot for his tanks.
Yeah.
One of them is no windows. It's just a complete waterfront, boarded up, stark white house. Looks like a bomb shelter. And then he's got this military vessel in the front that you could drive a tank up onto.
I think it's like a Navy SEAL.
Vessel.
Yeah, one of those
you can put the tank.
Yeah.
It's an aquatic.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, that's cool. But then you look over and you see that he's attached the other house to whoever, the guy. What is it?
Palmer Lucky.
Oh, God.
Yeah, isn't he
lucky?
Isn't that on the peninsula?
It's on Lido, the tip of Lido.
Tip of Lido.
Okay, and they let him do that. They just let him just shut off all the windows. And I'm like, hey, I
think he's building a new house there or something.
Yeah, I'm like, if the shit hits the fan, I'm going to
he
that
owns
guy's
the house across the street on the land side too, I think.
Oh, the B row.
Oh my God!
B-row,
yeah, the houses here are crazy. I also heard there's some, like, now that you know everything, little scoop. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory. There's people that own submarines, and they've actually dug under their houses. And if something shit hits the fan, they can get in the submarines and just take off into the ocean.
Yeah, I think that's a conspiracy theory.
Is it? Are you sure?
You got to stop watching OAN.
I know, I watch TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah.
Same thing.
I have not heard of any
That would be pretty cool, though. It would be.
It's a great story.
If you were uber rich, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Oh no, I heard that. Yeah, the guy, they live right over here on these islands, and like they've all secretly got together and like built these tunnels where you can get underneath, get in the submarines, and they all can be safe and take off.
Okay.
No?
I think they made a movie like that once.
Oh, I was all excited. I was going to try and figure out who they were so I could make friends and be like, hey, can I get a ride?
Yeah, it would be kind of cool.
Room for one more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to go in a private submarine after
last
year.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what was the name of that one?
That was bad.
Titanic.
Yeah, the Titanic one.
That did not happen. That's fake.
Oh, is that fake?
They are alive, by the way.
Are they?
Yes,
Really?
they are.
Did TikTok
How
tell
do
you
you
that?
get rid of your wife and your whole life and spend all your money with your kid and whoever? You pretend like you went underneath on a tin can. It's like a Pepsi can. They go underneath there and the Pepsi can explodes. That's literally what happened. There's no way a billionaire would do that. I cannot see those.
I think you better cut this part out.
No, I 100% believe it.
Okay, we can cut it out.
I 100% believe too that they got squished.
You think so?
Yes.
I do not.
And the Navy knew before because we didn't know for days.
Yeah, they knew.
But they knew right away because they got
heard
the sounds.
yeah.
They heard the sounds. You're bashing into your
Oh,
table.
God, sorry.
So, that definitely happened.
Oh, wow.
Imagine if you're so rich that you've done everything and you get bored. You're going to do dumb stuff like getting a little tiny submarine that was meant for one dive only, certified for one dive only, 20 years earlier, and then go down and get squished.
But see,
That was an accident waiting to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
He owed money to other countries, I was told.
Everybody owes everything. All kinds of money.
And he was trying to get out of it.
No.
He faked his
Oh,
death.
faked his death.
Michael Jackson's still
He's
alive.
living in the
Michael
Swiss Alps.
Jackson's still alive.
I think he lives in Orange County. I've seen a couple
Actually, Michael Jackson was sort of a client of mine at one point. Not
Really?
of mine, really. So
The firm?
So, when I was still back at UCLA, at law school at UCLA, I took a summer job with this firm, Laley and Singer. And it was a very small firm. It was only 4 attorneys. But they had an A-list clientele because they partner with, more about the law business. They were a litigation firm. So they only did lawsuits. They would partner with the deal-making firms that handled the contract work and represented, these clients and stuff. Okay. And so I remember the first day I went to lunch with the partner. It was a big office building in Century City, the two towers there. So he takes me to lunch, we're having lunch, and he tosses me this 3-page list of names. And he says, these are our clients. And I'm looking at it, it's like who's who of Hollywood, right? And
it's kind of cool, though. I mean,
so I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but when Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire in the Pepsi commercial.
Of course.
So we were representing him in that lawsuit. So I remember we got tickets to go to the Michael Jackson concert.
I never went to a show.
Did you
and I
go?
would have.
Yeah, of course we went.
I would have loved to
never
have
got.
gone. He wasn't my style of music.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone, I wish I'd have went.
Yeah.
Wait, you went to a Michael Jackson
I did go to a
concert?
Michael Jackson
That's pretty cool.
So jealous.
When I was in law
Was it
school.
as good as they always say it is? Like everyone says.
Honestly, I don't even remember. It's so long ago. But those brain cells are gone.
I was like,
long fried.
We represented. I worked on a lawsuit for Henry Winkler too at one time.
really?
Yeah. So here's where attorneys screw up, or this is where the business people screw up. He was, as I remember it, he had a business manager who invested him in these tractor trailer trucks, which was a big tax write-off because you can write off a lot of money.
Right.
And I think he bought 5 or 6 of them. What he forgot to do was insure the trucks, as I recall. And so, or something with the insurance.
No.
Sure enough, one of the trucks was in an accident. Well, they're not suing the truck driver who has no money. They're suing Henry Winkler, and we had to defend that lawsuit. So but I was, a law clerk back then. I had a very, very, very small part of these things.
So you went to college, did all that, and never really became a lawyer? Not very much.
When he
Not
became
very much,
a lawyer.
yeah.
That's a lot of school.
Yeah, but see, I look at it as it's your base that you build on. I mean,
True.
The things that I'm doing today.
Yeah.
You still use that knowledge
every day.
Every day. Okay. Well, that's
even
good.
to the point of we just signed a new lease for our space for 3 months or 3 years, and
For the chamber?
I review the lease. I have chamber members call me all the time asking me advice or can you refer me on to this or that.
Wait, do we need anything to ask him right now?
Let's think.
I'm like free lawyer work.
Yeah, I had a guy that called me. I think it was yesterday. about a business in town, and they sold some product to this business, and he's heard that they're selling the product below wholesale, and the guy's a drug addict apparently, and they were talking about $200,000 worth of stuff. And I said to him, I said, well, because you want to know what he could do to stop him. I said, well, it's not a criminal matter. You sold him the stuff. He can sell stuff for whatever he wants. He doesn't have to sell, above wholesale. If he wants to lose money on it, if he doesn't pay you, that's a civil claim. That's not a criminal thing. And I said, calling the police is probably not going to help you here. You're going to have to find a lawyer and maybe get an injunction or.
Well, at least you can give a little bit of advice.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So
So being a chamber member has its perks.
It has its perks, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm like, billable hours are nil or
zero. Actually,
null.
That was one thing that really drove me out of the law business was doing those billable hours and tracking my hours. Yeah, I hated that.
Well, are you kidding me? They love tracking my hours.
No, they don't. They just keep adding. They just keep adding zeros to your bill.
Yeah, me. They just like, and I'm like,
ka-ching.
There's not even enough lawyers in your firm to work that much in 1 week. How is that even possible?
They were dreaming about it.
Yeah, they dream about people like me. But now I audit all of my bills.
You have to, really.
and not only that, but I've learned my ex-husband didn't pay for his lawyer.
Really?
Lawyer fees, and he got away with it. He still hasn't paid both of his firms. Wow. How is that even possible? I paid every cent, $2 million, and that guy didn't pay for any of them. And,
well, maybe you paid for his.
No. Because I was told by my lawyer that, I don't know how billable hours, how he got away with it, but apparently you don't have to pay your lawyers. You could argue with billable hours for a decade.
You could argue about it, but obviously if they did work, they can prove that they did work.
Yeah. But anyway, I pay my bills, so it is whatever it is.
Daily Logic Check.
So, you being in Orange County, and do you get any gratification or gratification when you do your I guess it's called a civil duty, right? I mean, you're a Chamber of Commerce president and CEO. You help out 800 plus businesses that are all members. You organize the different events. You're really engulfed now in the community. You're no longer you're not sitting on. You're not the mayor, so you've got some time on your hands.
A little bit, not much.
No, because you like movie going with your wife. It says on your bio.
We do. Although even that's been a little while.
Yeah,
and they had a lot of good movies out lately.
No, you know what? There hasn't been because of the writer's strike. They said
yes,
and
Netflix and everything goes straight to a lot of really good stuff.
You can just stay home
goes
and
straight
watch
to streaming.
Movies,
I was gonna say, do you like golf or?
No, I got a good story about that too. So when I was a kid, I used to play golf back in Chicago.
Oh, okay,
and my dad would take me, but I needed glasses. Right, I couldn't see very well distance, and I hit the ball down the fairway, and I lose half the balls. And it's just kind of frustrating.
You got to be able to see.
Golf is a frustrating game if you have perfect vision, right?
Yeah.
If you can't see where your ball's going, you have to drop balls and stuff. So
it got really expensive real quick.
I get invitations all the time to golf, but I don't.
I was going to invite you to golf with Andrew and I.
The last time I golfed, it was in a charity tournament, and we did, best ball.
Best ball, yeah.
And they only used my ball once. So.
They're like, Steve, they look back. Yeah, go pick that up. You missed it.
The mobile.
No, you hit it good because they know you can't see it.
I love best ball, though. I get nervous with golf tournaments, especially in Orange County because everyone's such a good golfer. Yeah. I'm going to apply for Newport Beach Country Club. I'm so excited because I
think they have a long list.
That's called a scramble, by the way, not a best ball.
What?
Best ball means whoever plays, you play your hole to the end, and whoever got the best score, you write down. Scramble means every shot you use the best shot.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I found that out.
My whole life, I thought it was best ball.
I've been saying it wrong my whole life, too.
I guess whatever. No, but Newport Beach has one golf course or two? Newport Beach Country Club. Two golf courses, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's Newport Beach Country Club. There's Big Canyon,
yeah. I just go to the local one right now.
Pelican Hill.
Yeah, Pelican.
One. And then, there's the par 3
I go to the local, where you can wear a tank top and a t-shirt.
No, that's Costa Mesa up there in Costa Mesa Country Club over.
It's not a country club. It's a city golf course.
The one on Irvine Avenue?
The one right across from Home Depot.
Yeah, I think it's Irvine. It's next to the airport.
Right across,
that's the Newport Beach.
No. We're talking about.
I'm talking that one.
Oh, okay, because that's the only one I've golfed with you is that one over there lately.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that when I golf there, there's not a lot of rules and regulations. No one says four.
It's not a
you just get
course.
hit, and you're just like,
it's not a fancy.
There's
course.
mud everywhere. You're like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm still golfing. So, No,
Can you explain to me? So you're a chamber of commerce, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is the duties of the chamber of commerce?
So, when people ask me, like, what does a chamber do? And frequently we get asked that because, chambers have been around for hundreds of years, literally.
Yeah.
And so it's an old kind of a thing, but it's, our chamber, I think, has a lot of young energy in it. But I do get, and we get a lot of young energy because we try and recruit younger people. Yeah. Like you. And even younger than you.
I'm old
if that's
compared
possible.
to them.
But and so I tell them, we do 4 things basically at the chamber, 4 pillars. So one is we provide a platform for networking, which is probably the most popular reason why people join the chamber. Yeah. And we do at our chamber, I'd say 50 to 60 events a year.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's why I get so many emails.
Exactly.
I'm like,
yeah, there you go. We do 4 to 6 networking or some type of an event a month. And then we have 13 major civic events that we do every year. So there's lots of opportunities for members to come meet other business owners, either sell them their product or buy something from them or their service. Sometimes it's just you're new to the area and you want to establish a network of people that you can work with.
That's like me. I wanted just to kind of meet new people that were smart.
Sometimes it's a social thing. We discourage people, though, that come that are not like business focused,
right?
Because we are a business organization. So there are some chambers that encourage like residential
social
memberships
members.
or social members,
martini members.
Yeah, and I try and you have to have a business. You have to be doing something to join our chamber, and so that's a big part of what we do. And then there's an education component. So a lot of times our events serve 2 purposes. It's a networking, but also educational. So if you come to our our Wake Up Newport meeting on the first Thursday of the month, we'll have a prominent speaker.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I didn't understand what that was.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a breakfast thing. The first 45 minutes, it's a stand-up continental breakfast. So people are networking and talking. And then we sit down and last month we had Sheriff Don Barnes was our speaker.
I saw that.
In March, we had the mayor, Will O'Neill, as our speaker. We've had the community development director. I've had the director of the Orange
you
County
get
Airport.
invited, and so my business. Am I a member? What do you call that? I'm a member, right? So you become a member.
You're a leadership circle member.
I'm a leadership circle. So I get a chair at these events. I get one seat.
Yeah, we have a chair and a parking space.
Yeah, and a parking space.
Oh, nice.
And I get to go, and it's really cool. And then my logo is on
our
all their on their master sponsors.
On every event we do.
I'm so proud. I just sit there and I take a picture for John Paul. I'm like, because he's my partner in the vodka, and I'm like, look, I'm a member of the community. There's the vodka. And I took a picture while I'm sitting there having my lunch. Click, and it just goes by real quick. Makes me so proud, just because
you should be.
Anyway, but
so networking, education. There's a certain advocacy component, and so that'll be in different ways. So some of it is we'll take positions on certain things, not so much in the city. Yeah, we try and steer clear of the city politics. We're officially like Switzerland here. We're neutral. And it even extends to me. Like, I don't endorse candidates for city council. I don't donate to anybody's campaign.
So inside action going on here. You guys are just straight, even keel level.
We're down
by the
middle.
book.
Right. Don't pick a side.
We're not picking sides. We're not in the business to pick winners and losers. Because if you're in that business, ultimately you're going to pick a loser, and then the loser's mad at you and not going to want to help you. Yeah. Better, 7 council members. They each have a vote, as we talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
And so we want to be
fair and square,
friends with each one of those people. But we do, maybe on a statewide ballot proposition, we'll take a position and we'll announce it to our members.
Very transparent.
Yeah. Frequently we'll sign on to maybe there's a coalition against certain legislation being passed in anti-business legislation being passed in Sacramento. So we'll sign on and they'll put our logo on the letter with 50 other chambers or business organizations. So there's that part of advocacy, but there's also helping members get things done in the city. So frequently that's like permitting issues. So recently I was over, let's say, Cappy's Cafe restaurant.
I love them.
He's trying to build a permanent patio out back. And so I've been helping him, navigate the process over at the city to get it.
With your lawyer.
With the lawyer background. With my city hat too, as a city councilman.
Do you have to deal with Coastal Commission over there or no?
He is in the coastal zone,
So he's in coastal zone, okay.
Yeah, but the city can actually approve his permit, I think. I don't think he has to go to the Coastal Commission to do it. And now I'm blanking on our fourth pillar. It's education,
Networking.
Civic. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a Civic component.
Yeah.
So the Civic component is our 13 major Civic events that we do
Yeah.
every year. The boat parade, which everybody knows and loves,
They serve my vodka.
we do, is the biggest one. But we just did a 500 plus person police appreciation luncheon.
I missed it. It was
You did miss
Stagecoach the day that I was trying to sell the house.
It was good.
Yeah.
Next week we're doing a athletic awards dinner for the top 35 student athletes.
Yeah.
And you still
Which I
have it.
donated my spot. And
did,
you know,
yeah.
speaking of, you're a force to be reckoned with when it comes to Newport Beach. A lot of people respect and admire you for all your hard work and dedication to the Chamber of Commerce, and also where you've come from and what you've done.
Thank you.
And Andrew and I were very excited to have you on today. And not just that, but you give back. And on this podcast, we also want to give back. And we wanted, we don't know what we're really doing. We're just trying this, but it's turning out really well. And we thought, well, thank you. It is fun. And we're here, we're local. And being a member of the Chamber, my bottle says Newport Beach. I'm very proud of that, of my community. But where I'm going with this is this podcast, we want to be able to offer you a platform to promote nonprofits or a charity of your choice. But in your case, you're the president and CEO of the Chamber, which has a huge charity element, correct?
Yeah, we have, I'd say, 30 to 40 members that are 501c3 charities.
501c3 nonprofits.
People, Breast Cancer Angels, Boys and Girls Club, Goodwill. Actually, Goodwill is going to be our speaker at the next week's report. Maybe he'll come. But so we have all these charities, and so we also provide a platform for them to come, not just to raise money, which they're all trying to raise money, obviously, but a lot of them need their own volunteers. They're putting on
that's
events.
Great. That's what I was
doing
thinking.
Programs, and so they come there and they meet other people. Maybe they're looking for new board members for their charity board. So. It even pays for them, and we don't honestly. I feel bad about it sometimes. Like we don't offer like a
discount for charities. Yeah,
no, because
we have 40 or 50. That's like you can't offer a discount. Well, if you had one or two.
And I believe in the product that we have to offer. That if you join our chamber, this is in the letter that I sent to every new member. But there's more. If you join the chamber and don't engage, then you will not get the benefit that you seek. You have to engage. But the ones that do engage, I hear it all the time. Oh, I met this so-and-so person.
You have to be there.
Or I've had success somewhat. There is a return on your investment if you engage. If you just sign up and don't do anything, then it's hard for, occasionally
there's going to be benefits.
It might happen, but signing up is only the beginning. You have to actually work the system a little bit.
For people like me that I actively look for nonprofits that are viable, because a lot of them are false and they're fake and they're not real. So if I could look at a list from the Chamber of Commerce of charities that you've already vetted, because you in order for them to be a charity in your organization, don't you guys have to at least know that they're real?
They're real.
Like, okay, I'm a Chamber of Commerce member and I'm fake. That would be very odd. Yeah. So if you're going to join the Chamber, you're probably a real 501c3 with real purpose and you're doing real stuff. So to me, as a nonprofit, I would think it would be a benefit to be a member of the Chamber, just the validity part of it.
Yeah, okay.
I
think it's a part of any good organization. You need to be out there,
be
in
active,
the community, working. Getting new connections, new.
So what did we learn today, Andrew?
We
join the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
Become part of the community.
Absolutely.
Own a business.
That's always good too.
Be active. Yeah. Give back.
Just
have fun at the events.
Have community pride.
And meet Steve, and don't go golf with Steve.
No. You never want Steve to golf.
Don't golf with Steve. He can't see anything.
And he can't sing either, so don't ask him to sing.
No karaoke, no golf.
Well, on our podcast today, we also have a little gift for you for coming on. I know it's kind of cheesy.
Vodka?
Oh, no, well, yes. I also
have 6 bottles on my desk, so you don't need to pick them up.
But I actually signed this one for you today.
Oh, okay.
This is just a little extra to take home.
Thank you.
Careful, the bag is a little bit flimsy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But then I also have.
Can I take it out?
You can. Yeah. Thank you.
Show it for the camera. Oh wait. Turn it
and then, of course, me and my shameless swag.
Thank you.
I got you a black hat because last time you asked me for a black one.
Okay.
And then this is just a little extra something that I got you.
My wife's going to be jealous.
For being a part of our launch, being a part of one of our
What do we got in here?
our fabulous
Oh, it's all
guests.
decorated
Yes.
up.
Oh, you can open
You want
it.
me to open
yeah,
it? Okay,
yeah. It's a
I'll
little
open
blue box.
Little blue. I don't think I've ever gotten a little blue box.
You have never gotten a Tiffany?
No, I bought a Tiffany, but I've never gotten it.
Well, I love Tiffany,
Let's
and I tell you, this is great.
All right. Ooh.
And I thought,
You can sell these bags online. People actually pay for the bag.
You can?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
crazy.
well, they're real. This is real. I really go to South Coast Plaza and I go to
I
Tiffany.
believe you.
And Michelle helps me.
Wait, is it in here? Oh, there's two sides to this pouch.
Wait, is it? It better be. What is it?
Did you forget to put it in there?
No.
No, there's something in there.
Wait, but is it the wrong thing?
I don't know.
No, it's the wrong thing. Oh my God.
Wait, maybe I want this.
Hold on. Well, you could give it to your wife, I guess. No,
Probably would have to.
No, that's not.
How do
No,
I
no,
look?
no. I have.
It looks amazing on you.
Look at you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that.
Remember, they can't. Nobody can hear you
Okay,
talking.
take two.
Elizabeth, nobody. Don't talk because they can't hear you.
Don't talk.
Oh my God, I'm just talking to myself.
Okay, you can do that. We don't care about that.
Well, it was lovely.
Oh my God, you are hilarious. Hold on.
Did she not read the bottom? That we had them marked.
Oh,
so-
do you have them marked?
Yeah.
Oh, here
Oh,
it
this
is.
one says love something.
Yeah. So you just didn't even read it, Elizabeth, because it says it on there.
Oh, well, guess what? Well, you get to give that to your wife then.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll give
she
this one to
gets
her.
some.
Oh, I don't need two gifts. You could just.
No. This
She'd be happy to receive it.
That I give this to you.
Okay.
Okay, sit, get the
So-
mic in front of you. Try it
Here, do
again.
you want to put it back in the bag again? And
No.
Re-gift it.
We're going to continue because
Okay.
this is a podcast and we're not perfect.
There we go.
So, well, now you have a gift for your lovely wife.
Thank you.
And here's
So
one for
appreciate
you.
it.
This is
Okay.
the right one, I
Wait,
hope.
let's see. What
I
did
think she
What did
actually-
I get? No. Oh, money clip.
You're just supposed to open it. Oh
My wife
God.
hates that too. Like,
You're too smart.
I'll get a present. I'll start feeling it. I always guess what it is.
Would
She
you
hates
just
that.
open it? He's like reading. Now he knows where the reading.
I know the secret. You're like the Wizard of Oz, and I've looked behind the curtain.
You get vodka, swag, and some Tiffany.
You're the Elizabeth of Oz. Yeah.
Elizabeth of Oz.
Okay, there we go.
There
Money
we
clip.
go. Because you save your pennies. You know,
Okay.
you're saving the city pennies.
Watch the pennies, right? The dollars will
You're
follow.
Yeah.
you're making us money in Orange County, making
Thank
all
you.
of your 800 members some money by networking. So I figured, all that
Lovely
money
gift.
that you're making, you can stick it in your money clip, you know,
Okay.
stick it in your safe. Well, thank you again for being here and
pleasure.
educating our audience on what the Chamber of Commerce does, your history, how you became who you are. I think what my takeaway from this is you really kept your eyes open, coming from New York and then Chicago and going back and forth, and Brooklyn area. I think you already had a goal to live in California somehow. Once that opportunity arose, you knew where you wanted to be. For you to pick Newport Beach, you just knew. And you fit in great here. And it doesn't
Kind of like you. You're just like, it's the first time she ever came here, she's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
and you pride yourself in the community. And I hope that everybody watching this understands that we when you come to Newport Beach, it's just a beautiful atmosphere with lots to do. All the tourists love to vacation here.
Absolutely.
It's safe, it's clean, and a lot of it is due to people like you that run our community. So thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
Yeah.
being here.
Pleasure.
All right, that's a wrap. Peace, love, and happiness.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Daily Logic Check.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, Andrew Vargas. If you like what you saw, you like what you see, click like, subscribe, follow us, and support us on Patreon. Peace, love, and happiness.